All right, I have a question from, I'm going to put his name here. And his question is, how do you train your forearm and your bicep around Poland syndrome? His hand and arm is affected just like mine, and he wants to know how he can progress. Is his arm going to grow? So I'm just going to show you quickly his hands and his arms. Okay, so if your arms are like that and your hands are like that, this is going to benefit you. Me personally, I have affected arms. If you know me, then you'll see. If you don't check my posts and stuff, you'll see my hands, arm is affected, and it affects pretty much all my training, more so than my pec. It affects everything: back training, chest training, arms, shoulders, everything. Now obviously everyone is different, everyone is unique. No one's Poland syndrome is exactly the same. The way your muscles are put together, the anatomy of your arm versus my arm, even though we both have weird looking arms and hands, is still different. But for the most part, we can still do the same things. Now, I can only give you examples of my training and what I've done over the years. So basically, I figured out that you can't do heavy compound movements all the time. You can incorporate them into your routines, but you can't do them all the time, especially if you're training, say, your biceps, like arms on a separate day. So you say you're training your chest one day, your back one day, legs, shoulders, arms, and you're doing that sort of bro split. So it puts a lot of pressure on your arms. So generally, I stay away from the heavy compound movements, i.e. deadlifts, heavy rows, heavy bench press, because that affects the elbow as well and the wrist majorly. Because if the muscles are lagging, if there's no muscles there, and the arm is really like puny, and hand is puny, you see that it's puny, then chances are that the structure underneath, the bones and the ligaments and the tendons, are going to be weak as well. So really, heavy bench pressing as well puts a lot of strain. Even shoulder pressing, even upright rows, puts a lot of strain on your elbow. Even wearing straps and wrist straps and everything, it's still going to cause you pain over time. Also pull-ups, they really affect the arm and hand, especially if you're a chunkier guy like myself, bottom heavy. That's really actually not funny. People think that's a joke, but actually if you're bottom heavy and you have Poland syndrome, trying to pull yourself up without the forearm and brachialis, whatever you call it, muscle is very dangerous, and you can actually mess up your arm for life if you're not careful. So it's not just doing the exercises, it's actually holding on to the bar. So there are a lot of things in the way that are preventing you from progressing, but there is a way around it. And I'll give you a little example of how I do things and how I train generally around the arm problem. So for example, I trained back today. Now, as we all know, training back involves a lot of arms, a lot of hands, a lot of biceps, and generally I train quite high intensity, and I don't rest a lot, and I try to do a good 20-30 sets on back. I go until I'm completely done. So basically, I choose exercises at the start. The start is the most important. I choose an exercise that I know isn't going to hurt my arm. So I have to choose an exercise that works well for me and that's going to warm my arm up. So generally I'll do like a machine row or something like that. That's just not too strenuous, but it's just going to warm my arm up. I won't go straight into a heavy row or a heavy pull down or a heavy wide pull down, because that also affects the arm and the shoulder and the rear delt, that causes pain. So I start with something that I know works well for me, and that's going to warm me up for the heavy exercises. Now, the body is an amazing thing. You have to remember, when you first go into the gym, you'll be weak and you won't have a lot of stamina, and you might find it hard and difficult, and that is off-putting. But if you stick with it and your nutrition is on point and you keep at it, over time your body will just adapt. So when you start going to the gym and you start doing exercises, the first couple of sets might feel a bit awkward, but once your body warms up, that blood and all those nutrients go into the muscle, I can do pretty much everything. It's just the things that will injure you is when you start going too heavy and you start using shitty form and you let the ego get in the way. As long as you keep good form and you incorporate the proper muscles, and you just train the way you're supposed to train. Don't train like an idiot. You can progress. So yeah, choose exercises that will work well for you. Once you're warmed up, you can train hard and without fear or anything like that. So basically, it will take you time to figure out your own body. Just try everything and see what works, see what doesn't work. If you like something, keep at it. If you don't like doing something, don't do it. Say like you don't like doing straight arm barbell curls, don't do them. If you don't like a movement, don't do them, or try a variation or something. And like say I'm training arms, my arm, I actually look at my arm. I've studied my arm, I've taken photos of it. I'm big on anatomy and stuff like that, so I know my muscle structure in my arm. I know what muscles I'm missing, and I know what exercises train those muscles. So I know that my arm has more outer bicep and more forearm on this side, so I know like hammer curls and reverse curls work great, whereas preacher curls don't, because I'm missing the inside of my bicep. So things like that, you know what to avoid. And it's okay to train your arm a little bit less, because really, it's not going to make that much of a difference. You got to remember that if you're training natural, right, you're not going to get massive, you're not going to get huge. You're going to gain some mass, yeah, but when it comes time to like dieting down or losing body fat and just trying to get like into great shape, you won't be that big. And really, for the amount of weight that you're gonna lift and the stress you're going to put your body under, really there's no need for it. And anyone who's experienced and knows what they're talking about will tell you that go heavy as you can on the compound movements with good form, but use lighter weight, medium weight, and use the 10 to 15 rep range on your arms and your limbs and stuff. So really, that advice I think is good and it's worked for me, and that's the same advice I'd give to anyone else. So basically, yeah, just figure out your body, and you can progress, as you've seen with me and many other people with Poland syndrome. We're not hiding in the closet anymore. We're all on social media now. Just hashtag Poland syndrome. To realize that you need to stay positive, and confidence is always free. It's up to you to walk with your head high or your head down. Really, no one really cares that much other than you. At the end of the day, it's just a choice. Walking around with confidence is a choice. No one's really bothered but you. Once you get over it, things will really start to look a lot brighter. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. Keep training your arm, but don't overdo it. Just be smart about it and study your arm, have a look at it, see what exercises work, and yeah, over time things will start to happen. Just be consistent and realize that it takes years, months worth of hard work and dieting and just being a bit strict. So I hope that was helpful, and yeah, any other questions, let me know.